Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are currently in the Studium to aid Professor Rurusha here in her project to repair this tiny thing on the table. She suspects it's a mammoth, and so far we've seen it flop a little around on the table because it's still broken. And as assistants for the Faculty of Archaeology, we help repair it. But there's a question if this is actually a true worthwhile relic and not just some rubbish, as everyone else seems to think, except the Professor. Don't you often find yourself reflecting on the day before you drift off at night? Most of the time I end up focusing on the countless things I did wrong. Really? Welcome back, Desiree. So wonderful to see you again. Just received word our delivery of poor materials has come into port. Boy was just leaving to go and fetch them, but now that you're here, might I ask you to accompany him? You'd be certain of the quality of these goods, and I trust you're discerning artisan's eye. Fantastic. Well, hurry along, you two. Let us be on our way then. The merchant said she would be waiting for us in Scholar's Harbor. This is the merchant I was telling you about. Hello, hello. How are you on this fine day? You both from the Studium, yes? Well, yes, we are actually. We've been sent by Professor Rurusha for... so you'll be for the minerals then. Have a guard at them and let me know if I meet with your approval. Well, they seem to be what we asked for. Any thoughts this way? Oh, that's great to hear. What a relief. Pleasure doing business with you. Do you have a tome I recently ordered for the Studium? The order was placed under Namono Tayamono. Ah, Professor Namono. Always a pleasure. Of course I do. It is. I hope it's to your liking. Yes, it's indeed what I requested you acquire, though I must say its contents appear to be somewhat lacking. Dear me, do you wish to return it then? No. You did your job and deserve to be compensated accordingly. Thank you kindly. If there's nothing else, I'll be on my way. Yeah, perhaps with this you will learn something about what constitutes worthwhile research. If it piques your interest, then feel free to visit me in my office. I would gladly welcome someone as determined as you to join my staff. We could do with another pair of hands. A companion of linguistic research. I fear its contents are beyond me. Archaeology has always been my preferred field of study, however my marks in school often left much to be desired. To even call me a second-rate researcher would be a flattery. But that mattered little to Professor Rurusha. She took me in their wing in spite of my shortcomings, and my performance greatly improved thanks to her tutelage. So much so I was offered a position working at St. Koinak's Find after graduation, but I couldn't accept it. I owe a great debt to the professor for all she's done for me. So long as she has need, I will remain at her side. Alas, I don't feel I've been much help to her of late. Perhaps it would be for the best if I took on a few odd jobs for Professor Namono. At least then I would be contributing to her field in some way, however insignificant it may be. Namono would work you to the bone, you know. You're right. This is not a decision to be made lightly. Apologies for my jabbering. You did not come all this way to hear my lamentations. Come, let us return to the professor. Alright. I do hope the relic is restored soon. I feel the stress of this never, maybe the death of me. Welcome back, you two. Everything went well, I take it? We went into Professor Namono. Good to hear. Thanks again for lending us that discerning eye of yours. I say, boy, what is that tome you have there? Oh, this, well, we happened to run into Professor Namono when we met the merchant, and, the tome he ordered seemed to be underwhelming. The tome he ordered seemed to underwhelm him, and so he shoved it into my hands. He also asked if I might consider working for him. Look at you, getting scouted by another professor. You're coming up in the world, Borek. Alas, he only wanted me to help out with odd jobs. I could never hope to aid anyone in deciphering ancient languages, as you well know. I do wish he wouldn't put himself down like this. He contributes more than his fair share to my work, at the very least. But let's set that aside for now. The time has come for you to get to work on the core. You should have need of additional materials Borek will provide. Now, this is one of those tasks where having additional materials on hand doesn't make any sense to me. It's beautiful. Go and show it to the professor. We're so close. Let me know once you finished making the core. Well, that was nerve-wracking work, but I've successfully replaced the old core with your new one. Now we need to pray that it works. For the briefest moment, the Golden Dhiata took flight. Unfortunately, it immediately falls to the table. A rattling sound can now be heard coming from within. Well, what do you know? It really can fly like an airship. I can hardly believe my eyes. Are you certain it's not Allagan in origin? I can think of no other ancient civilization capable of fashioning such a mammoth. Strange, though, that it continues to function poorly despite replacing all of its parts. Which leaves us with what is now essentially a prohibitively expensive ornament. I grant you our results thus far are somewhat less than satisfactory, but that is not cause for panic. Archaeology is the most interesting when you come up against a hurdle like this. Don't you just love being challenged to solve a good mystery? Well, only time will tell if a Golden Dhiata is truly a mammoth or simply someone's old plaything. But I could never forgive myself if I had to move to another project without first uncovering all of our friends' secrets. Just think back to the state we found it in, and yet it is now capable of flight, for goodness sake. We made incredible progress. That said, the rattling noise just now does have me worried. Perhaps I made a mistake somewhere when inserting the new parts? We need to dismantle it once more and see if we can't deduce what went wrong. And then I bid you get some rest. I will let you know the very moment we are finished. I really want to help the professor, but our funds are nearly run dry. We can't continue like this. A friend in need. Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. I was just mulling something over. I dismantled the Golden Dhiata after you left and even tried oiling all its parts with lubricants graciously lent to me by the Faculty of Alchemy, but after reassembling it, nothing has changed. That said, I did make one new discovery. I found this small part within its mouth. It seems to be an artificial voice box of some sort. That this piece should have anything to do with its malfunction is highly unlikely, but it is damaged. I thought it may be worth replacing. What do you think? Might be nice if we could communicate with it. Wait, you think the Golden Dhiata may be capable of speech? Haha, a novel idea indeed. Well, she is capable of flight. It would not surprise me if she could talk as well. Perhaps then we could ask what ails her. Could I trouble you to make a gold mechanical voice box for our friend? Just imagine what interesting things she might share with us. To think we might be able to speak with a Golden Dhiata, although I do worry how this might impact our research funds. What's your problem? I'm providing all the materials! And I only get scripts in return. Oh, thank you. Exquisite as always. We'll be having a talk in no time with a voice box like this. Alright, let's see if she speaks. The Golden Dhiata says something. However, you haven't the foggiest idea what it's trying to tell you. She speaks. I knew it. Did I truly just hear that now? Oh, Professor, this could be the discovery of a lifetime. That said, while it's definitely made a noise, it sounded more like a song than speech to me. Still wasting time on your little pet, I see. Ah, Professor Namuno. Perfect time. If you could spare a moment, we have need of your keen insight. I beg your pardon. Did I do something to suggest I wish to waste my time alongside you? Don't tell me you've actually made progress. All thanks to Desiree, yes. In fact, our recent discovery falls within your realm of expertise. Well, I say discovery, but it's more like a clue that may lead to one. A clue? Oh, well, that's very impressive given all the time you've already wasted on this malak. Honestly, are you even listening to yourself? Regardless, I did not come here to discuss your latest failing as a researcher. Allow me to be brief. In light of your wasting of research funds, I have asked the Studium to consider if your continued employment is of worth to anyone here aside from yourself. Just look at how stressed your assistant is. Fret not, Boric. I promise to look after you once Professor Rurusha is removed from her position. Of course, in return, I expect you to sign my petition to proceed with this inquiry. Ah, well, that didn't go to plan, did it? Considering the linguistic nature of our problem, I was hoping Professor Namuno might be willing to assist us. If only I'd spoken up sooner. Perhaps it would not have come to this. Forgive me, Professor, but the day has given me much to consider. If you'll excuse me. never realized he was under such stress. Is it wise to leave him alone? There are certain matters we must work out for ourselves. I have faith he will make the right decision for himself, whatever that may be. But come, we would not wish for our work to remain at a halt on his return. We must consider our next course of action. Rurusha is thrilled with your efforts. She now considers you a top-drawer relic restorer. Breaking with the alliteration. Wayback Machine. Desiree, fortuitous timing as ever. As you can see, Bork has yet to return to the workshop. To be honest, it has been somewhat lonely without him. For mercy, I've managed to make progress with the Golden Dhiata by way of a rather curious discovery. Initially, I thought to leave her be, fearful of damaging the parts we've labored so hard to provide, but then curiosity got the better of me. I dismantled her yet again, but this time I discovered a black stone inside. A connector of some sort coiled all about it. Any idea what it might be? Are you sure that elegant tombstone didn't drop from my pocket? An elegant tombstone, you say? Doesn't have a customary pattern of a tombstone, but the texture is certainly similar. Based on where we found her, I very much doubt our friend here was created in the 3rd astral era, no. The 5th is much more likely, perhaps even the beginning of the 6th. It's entirely possible people of that age, after unearthing Allagan relics, repurposed the technology. Or perhaps they merely drew inspiration from Allagan design in their work? If this was meant to store records, which I believe it does, it would have expected it to serve as her core, much like the Mammoths of Uldar. However, the Golden Dhiata's core has an altogether different function, which is why I suspect the stone, and whatever knowledge is stored within, is meant to supplement the core, hence the connector I found wrapped around it. Tell me, little one, just what secrets are you hiding? Would you be able to fashion a new connector for her? The one I found attached to the stone is clearly not working as intended. Honestly, what would I do without you? Let's not waste any time then. We must finish our work before Professor Namono convinces the Studium to hold that inquiry. This may very well be the last request I ask of you, so please, any materials you require, but ask and I will see to the rest. Pray make that gold connector as quickly as possible. Excellent, the connector is in place. Now we need to insert the stone and see how she responds. Professor Rurusha. Bowex, so good to see you. If you come to apologize, don't. You're here now, and that's all that matters. No, that's not it. I mean, yes, I'm sorry for being away so long, but I came to apologize, Professor. I signed the petition for your inquiry. Your research is leading you nowhere, Professor, and I thought it better you resign than tarnish your legacy with this final project. So I signed the petition, and now Professor Namono has the signatures he needs to submit his petition. It was only after I signed that I realized my mistake. If that relic yet holds secrets of a bygone era, it's our duty to find them. But now we may never have a chance. I take it you have heard the good news? Professor Namono. The faculty is ready to hold their inquiry, Professor. I suggest you make your way to Learner's Meet, lest you miss the ending of your own career. You two may well come along too. The more the merrier, as they say. Always in a hurry, that one. You must learn how to relax. Warwick, would you be a dear and do me a favor? I wish to finish fitting this part to the Golden Dhiata. Once finished, I'm positive we will learn all we need to know. But I need you to delay the inquiry if only for a short time. No need to worry. I suspect it won't be long before the old girl stirs to life this time. Go ahead with Warwick and wait for me at Learner's Meet. Professor Namono, What's this? Only the two of you? You're going to tell me that the great Professor Rurusha took the coward's way out and fled, are you? No. Her legs simply won't move as fast as they used to. Would you care for a cup of tea while we wait? Better yet, we could pay a visit to the last stand. Warwick, we are far past the time for guilt and regret. Would you not agree? But you needn't fret. I'll be sure to look after you. So please, there's no need to delay the inevitable. At any rate, all necessary parties to the inquiry will be here soon enough. Professor Rurusha's absence merely proves that she has no intention of defending herself. Now, let us make our way to the auditorium. Allow me to preface this hearing by stating that I have the utmost respect for you as a fellow academic, Professor Rurusha. However, given the support behind this recent petition, we have no choice but to consider the matter of your continued tenure here at the Studium. You stand accused of squandering Studium funds on the restoration of a relic of questionable origin. And she has refused time and again to heed my request to cease her activities. She is convinced that the relic in question is some sort of mammoth, but I have not witnessed it move even an ilm. What's more, the gleaner that found this so-called relic has a history of delivering counterfeits in the past. Isn't that right, Warwick? Come now, Professor Namono, no one's perfect. And for the 100th time, the mammoth is something special. You just need to be patient with her. Come on, little one, show them. Well, it definitely moves. Am I seeing things? This proves nothing. How do we know you didn't ask this helper of yours to contrive a means for it to move on its own? Well, I suppose it falls to me to confirm as much. Tell me, did you do as Professor Namono suggests? I only met the parts required to restore it. She speaks the truth. Naturally, someone of her ability could doubtless make modifications to allow rudimentary movement, but I don't think even the best in her field could achieve this. Why, isn't that the tome I received from Professor Namono? As you may recall, the Golden Dhiata produced strange noises some time ago in our workshop. It was only until recently I realized those noises were syllables, and they matched those comprising the language found in this book. Now, my dear, would you kindly read an excerpt from the book? Oh, and please be certain to translate it into a language we can all understand.
The serpent that sleeps in the deep slowly sheds its skin of old.
I recognize that passage. It has something to do with magic that control the life stream. At least, I would wager that's what the serpent represents. It aligns with everything my research has uncovered thus far. Then this relic is an ancient translation device, yes. And here I was convinced that Professor Rurusha has all but lost her critical faculties. Yet clear it was I that was entirely in the wrong. I've been too quick to belittle the work of others, thinking only of what immediate benefit they might have to mine. A researcher should be inquisitive and reflective, but I have only been selfish and overly prideful. Please allow me to extend my sincerest apologies. If anyone should be removed from a post, it is I. Oh, stop, you needn't be so dramatic. If not for your passion for linguistics, I would never have discovered the importance of this relic. Well, it would seem there's no further need for these proceedings. If I may make a suggestion, would you two consider working together? It's clear to me, at least, that such an arrangement would be mutually beneficial. What a fantastic idea! I would love nothing more than to work alongside Professor Namono. Pray allow me to thank you for helping Professor Rurusha with her research. Were it not for your intervention, I fear we may have committed a grave error and silenced a perfectly capable researcher along with her work. Also, it ends well, huh? Let's head back to Maker's Meat. I need to thank you properly for everything you've done. Oh, I'm so relieved.
Eventually the serpent devours its own tail and renders new flesh using its own. The pain felt will cause the earth to quake, the mountains to crumble, and the rivers to run dry. Thus 7 wedges must be driven into its back.
I thought I was acting in your best interest, but, well... Professor, I'm more sorry than you'll ever know. Would you ever consider allowing me to work as your assistant once more? I'll give you all the time you need to decide. Listen, Bobek. You don't need to apologize to me because nothing changed between us. You never stopped being my assistant. And please, do yourself a favor and stop being so hard on yourself over time. I couldn't ask for a better colleague. But I suppose there's one thing you could do with learning. Patience. Our work often takes time to bear results after all. Now, are you ready to get back to work? Oh, Professor. Ah, what a nice surprise. Are you here to ask for a little friend's help? Something like that, yes. A book I gave your assistant was merely an abridged compilation of works of ancient languages, but what I have now are a complete inscription of a text I am presently studying. I must know what is written here. I've spent far too long toiling away to decipher their contents to no avail. I'm also familiar with that feeling. I suppose all researchers are spurred on by that thirst for answers. Perhaps that answers will even help you with these recent anomalies in the livestream. I'm sure some of the other professors at the Studium would love to hear your findings. Well, you two have certainly reconciled your differences quite quickly. Would that I could relinquish my worries so easily. Thank you once again, Desiree. If you hadn't stuck around to help as long as you did, I might have lost an irreplaceable assistant and countless colleagues. And that is to say nothing of a huge academic leap forward we're about to make thanks to all your hard work. A gift I hope to repay with hard work of my own. The next you meet, I'll be sure to have a number of fascinating discoveries to share with you. I hope you're prepared, Bowick. You have 2 professors to attend now, so no more moping, alright? Oh, I'm quite sure you'll have no time for that. As I no longer have the resources required to hire additional help, you're my one and only assistant now, Bowick. So do try to keep your wits about you. Oh dear, what have I gotten myself into now? Well, at least the subject matter is interesting. And this time everyone is cheering. Rurusha is deeply moved by your efforts. She now considers you a masterful relic restorer. And there are other Rolequests to do. Oh, thank you for coming. I've been so busy lately with all these new discoveries, but let's have a good chat over tea at the last stand when things have calmed down. I'm busier than ever, but I'm loving life. Professor Namono has been rather calm lately, and I'm even sleeping better at night. Perhaps the occupant of a tomb we found the mammoth in was a translator of sorts, so I can't wait to discover just how many languages our friend can translate. Alright, but that is the Metalworker Rolequest. And with that I say, until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Mace and don't get lost.